BJ from Game Gumbo. I've got my guest here, Carla Kopp from Galactic Raptor Games. Time to talk about some Roaring Right. It's blowing up on Kickstarter.
Whoa!
It's always nice to come on the show and you're not even worried. It's already funded. So give us the story. Give us the background. Roaring Right is a rando writer based on a game that you and Dan already published from Steve Aramini, Animal Kingdoms. But what's the game about?
Okay, so in the game, you are one of many people that might become the regent of the Animal Kingdoms. But to do so, you have to, one, impress all the people of the Animal Kingdoms and impress the selection committee. There's going to be 5 people on the selection committee, and there'll be cards like oh yeah, you have them up, where they're like the frog and the lizard and stuff. And each different selection committee member wants a certain thing. Like one of them might really like threes, another one might like even pairs or odds or different numbers. But you're going to be playing and then choosing which of the selection committee members to try to impress each round. It's played over 5 rounds, and each round is made up of 3 dice rolls of 6 numbers. So you're going to be seeing a total of 18 dice. But if you write down all the numbers from the first roll, you'll get an extra 4 bonus points. Or if you take from the first and the second roll, you'll get an extra 2 bonus points. But if you go to the third, no bonus points for you. You get to also write in the top part of the score sheet. You can do 1 die per roll. Unless you want to give up like some of your numbers from the council, you can put an X in the council and get additional rolls to put in the top area for the kingdoms to try to fill up those kingdoms. If you do fill up a kingdom, you get an extra points based on the kingdom.
Steve, I think that's the thing that you and I thought was maybe the most decisive moments of the game, when you figured you could get some extra points, but do you give up that, where on the sheet can you give up that little X and just take it? Oh, I really want to add another dice roll. Where did that come from, Carla? Because that's not in the original game. That's something that's tied to this game, right?
Yeah, so that's in this game. So at one point in time, this was not an Animal Kingdoms game. But
really?
Yeah. So how it came to be an Animal Kingdoms game is I gave myself a goal. Like 2020, I was going to enter 12 different contests.
Okay.
And one of the most important things about entering contests is having fancy art so it looks cool.
Okay.
Like if you don't look good, nobody wants to play the game. Okay.
Yeah,
so I was like, you know what? I have all this Animal Kingdom art. I have this game. It fits together. Biba was actually the one that she's like, yeah, you should put animals on this art. And I was like, cool, whatever.
And you love animals.
Yeah, I do love animals, and I had this art. So like, then I did that. So I made it the Animal Kingdoms Rollin' Right, and then I was like, whoa, this super fits. This could be the Animal Kingdoms Rollin' Right.
Oh, wait, so you weren't even planning on that. It was just kind of, wait, I have the game. It's already there.
And it's
yeah. Well, like after I played it and I was thinking about it, well, like, because all the council members, they're kind of like the decrees in the game where you have to like score in a certain way. The only thing that changed between like actually going the Animal Kingdoms route was the top kingdoms area. That was Dan wanted it to be more Animal Kingdoms like, so that part we actually went through like a couple different iterations. The first iteration was actual area control, much like Animal Kingdoms, but that one was pretty tough because, well, like in area control, you want to pay attention to what other people are doing, and like we gave extra points. Like, oh yeah, if you finish this kingdom first, you get more points. So before you wanted to write down anything. Yeah, well, you do until you realize, like, oh, okay, you want to know what every other player is doing on their little score pad, and that it, like, just broke the whole, like, play it over Zoom, play it with anyone, play it with 50 people, like, that, it was rough that way. But changing it to be just, like, if you fill it in, you get the points, it still had that, like, the choice between, like, the different areas, like, the weighting of that between the council and the agendas. Like, it had all that without, like, the terribleness of what is everyone else doing.
Right. Chat crew, you got any questions for Carla Kopp about Galactic Raptor's Roar and Write. What a cool name. Where did the name come? Steve, if you have any questions, jump in.
Sure.
Where did the name Roar and Write come from?
Well, Dan,
you've gotten a lot of compliments for that name on social media. It's a great name.
Yeah. Dan was like, "Hey, let's not name it the Animal Kingdom's Roll and Write, because like just in case we want to do like an Animal Kingdom's Roll and Write that was like more Animal Kingdomsly, I guess." And I was like, "Okay, what's an animal named thing?" And
Thank you,
I
Jay.
guess. Oh, thank you. You're awesome. I was like, Roar and Write, because dinosaurs roar, right? And I guess like Dan didn't come up with anything better, so I was like, yes, Roar and Write.
That's a Steve the Name Father name right there, don't you think, Steve? Roar and Write.
Look,
he's giving you a salute. That is classic. Steve, you got a question?
My first thought when we played this 3 players, and we played it like you were saying over distance, so we were interacting with a spreadsheet version of scoring things. Yeah. Really appreciated that. Thought that worked really well. I was nervous at the beginning, thinking that we were all going to maybe follow the same tracks and go in the same direction. But very quickly, after the first roll or 2, we really diverged, and we're going in different directions. I was impressed by that, seeing as how I was a bit nervous at the beginning that it was going to be on tracks or on rails. Not that way at all.
Yeah, usually people go in different directions because of the personal agendas. Like they just like different numbers and different pairs, like having them care about 3 numbers, and usually like the numbers, like there's very little overlap between everyone. Yeah, that means like everyone's slightly like thinking something else, unless it's like, oh, all the dice are 6s. Then you might do the same thing.
While we're all trying to accomplish some of the same things, we have different routes to get there, and it does put a pressure on you to take a slightly different route. I liked it.
Well, thank you.
Tell me about the art. Where did you find this artist? Because one thing that stands out about Animal Kingdoms and about Roar and Write is this is absolutely gorgeous art. Jay mentioned it, that the red panda might be my favorite also. The red panda is just absolutely gorgeous.
So Katie Grierson, she did the art for Animal Kingdoms. Animal Kingdoms was the first game that we worked with her on. And since then, she's done... she did the art for, like, the box art for Tumbletown and some other things for
Tumbletown. That was her? Okay.
Yeah, she did some of the art for Big Easy Busking as well. Okay. Yeah, she is amazing. She's in England.
Steve, look at this stuff, man. This is just gorgeous, man.
It's good stuff.
And she's also done some Gift of Tulips stuff, which is another upcoming game of mine. Basically, I love working with her. She's fantastic. She does so many different kinds of like styles and stuff. Like, have you seen the Kingdoms of the Deep artwork?
I have not seen that. Okay. I need to take a look at that. So you are an expert on copies, right?
Yes. As much as most people in board games.
Well, out of all the people I know, maybe I should have prefaced it with that. Out of all the people I've ever interacted with, you are the most expert on copies that I know. I would call upon you as my expert witness. So how close did Katie get to it?
She got it.
Is this an accurate representation of an O-copy?
Yeah, for sure. Like, well, I sent her a lot of pictures, but yeah.
And why does it look like 3 different animals?
It's at least zebra and giraffe.
Well, it is the only relative of the giraffe. It's around the same area as the zebra, so like, for the same reasons the zebra has the stripes to like blend in, it has the stripes.
Sure.
I don't know. Weird things happen in nature.
Look at that frog. That frog is just perfect. Really good. And that is...
I'm going down the rabbit hole on her artwork here in ArtStation.
Oh,
it's just gorgeous.
Oh. Have you found the Kingdoms of the Deep art?
Is it just animals, or does she do all kinds of different things?
I'm seeing some from what looks like Animal Kingdoms, but I'm seeing others seem to be other fantasy games or other fantasy.
Yeah.
Thomas said, Carla, you can't do that. Are you hinting about another game coming out? Give us the scoop.
Yeah, Kingdoms of the Deep. It was supposed to come out already, but COVID sometimes ruins our lives.
Yeah. Changes everything.
Yeah.
So Thomas needs to keep an eye out for that? All right, what you got? Sure. Oh, she did that part? Okay. Yeah. And that's the street scenes that you compete over whenever you're trying to do your performances, I think you called them, right? Performances?
Yeah, you're doing your thing to the crowd. She also did this one.
That was in Big Easy Busking?
That is Big Easy Busking. Wow, that's gorgeous. Look at that color palette. Now I know that you had a hand in the color palette, though, if I remember right.
Oh,
Yeah, you said jazz it up as much as you can. All right,
sorry.
So it's Roaring Right. It's out on Kickstarter right now. You guys have already funded. Can you give some little teases for the chat crew about what we can expect? Because you've been in the comments, you've been promising some upgrades, right?
Yeah. So the first
what's happened so far, and what you expecting?
So we reached this first stretch goal of sparkly dice, which is fancy and cool.
Sure.
But the next stretch goal is going to be custom dice, which I'm excited about because I've never actually done custom dice in a board game before. So we're going to do that.
Yeah. What do you mean by custom dice? You mean like the lettering will be unique?
The lettering, and there'll be like icons.
Okay.
Like little feathers, like the icons from Animal Kingdoms, where like each thing had an icon. Like the owl had the feather, and there was a paw print for the tiger. Those are going to be on the dice.
That's going to be on the dice.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then I saw some highlights for the dice, if you can get to that level, right? What else?
Yeah.
Any scoops you can tell us?
We are going to have, I believe, an add-on where you can get like fancy laminated sheets instead. Because, like, I mean, who doesn't like laminated sheets? But yeah, like just one thing we did want, I don't know if we'll do it now or with Kingdoms of the Deep, is having a different score sheet or different of these for the different animals that are in the deep version of the game. So
now, one thing we didn't talk about, Roaring Right, it's not just a game that you play around the table with 3 or 4 people. You've tested this with a bunch of people, right?
Oh yeah,
what's the most?
I think Dan's played with like people on Twitch, where he just puts it up, and I think it's been like 20 or so.
Wow.
But yeah, when we go to conventions, I'm really excited because then we can do like the big rooms, like 100 people all at the same time. Like, let's play this 15-minute game.
Hey, we got Southern Board Game Fest next September, so a year from this September. Unfortunately, we're having to move it. You know, I don't know if you know, there's this virus thing going around, so we had to kind of move it. So it should be ready by next September for us to do it as a con game.
Yeah, it should be ready in like a couple months.
Oh, okay. Well, next September, come to the convention and run it as a convention game for us. Wouldn't that be fun? We'll get like 100 people to play it.
I'm excited. I was like sad that this year it didn't work out, but like, yeah, I understand.
Kelly said she saw some Kingdom of the Deep artwork in Carla's Discard, an Insta bag just for the art. Now, it's true. Kelly's like me. She sees artwork like this and she gets really excited. I do too. I love that. I love seeing that. It's John from Meeptown that doesn't care about the art. I care about the art, Carla. I want to see it.
Kickstarter link is there in the chat for folks to click on, and we've got at least Jay who's gone over and clicked and backed. So
and that is Roaring Right coming out from Galactic Raptor. It's out on Kickstarter. You think it'll be ready this fall? And get out there and take a look at the Kickstarter part. What's the price point on it?
$19 with shipping.
Come on, people.
Yes,
that's pretty easy.